Hello everyone, my name is Florent from Coherent, and I would like to take a moment to talk about hybrid deployments. Roughly speaking, Spark offers three deployment models. The first one, it's a SaaS offering, which means it's a cloud-based service that's fully managed and maintained by Coherent. And 95% of our clientele prefers this method. The second method, it's the on-prem deployment. It's more or less a suite of tooling used by Coherent Spark, but deployed within a client's ecosystem. And the third option, the hybrid deployment, which is our topic for today, it's something in between. Clients get to use the SaaS offering, but with a full control over the execute API. This hybrid functionality is what we call a hybrid deployment. Okay, to make things easy for our customers to adopt this hybrid functionality, we offer this tool we term Hybrid Runner. It's a Docker containerized app that exposes a subset of APIs for you to execute a Spark service locally. In fact, it's a Node.js app that harnesses the WebAssembly module of a Spark service and run it offline. All right. I know it's a lot of terms, so let's back off a little bit. Remember how Spark converts your Excel logic into C++ code? Actually, this code is then encapsulated into a WebAssembly module, which immediately enables portability and near-native computation. I know, performance in a nutshell, right? If this sounds new to you, you may want to spend more time reading to this doc and learn a little bit about WebAssembly and this new technology. Talking about hybrid runner tooling, let's take a look at the Docker image now. We have published our Docker image under the name Node.js server to the GitHub container registry. It's publicly available. And the latest version at the time of this recording is 1.44. This is what we'll be using for a demo. Let's take a look at the Spark service we will be executing offline. Here in Spark, this is the classic term life code. If you're not familiar with this, maybe you want to check out the other videos we've published on the channel. But for now, this is what you need to know. Those are on the left, those are the inputs we'll be using. And if we take a look at the raw view, this metadata is important because this is how we're going to fetch the model in a minute. We'll explain more on this later. And on the right, this is the outputs we're expecting. So when we run this offline, this is what we're supposed to get. All right, let's now take a look at the code. So the first thing I need to do, let me make sure that my Docker is running. So let me just check my Docker version. This is what I'm using. So far, so good. Okay. In this commands that I have here, what I'll be running this model. The first step, I'm gonna pull the image. The second step, I'm gonna run the image with some configurations. And the third step, I'm gonna make sure that the service is available offline. That's why you see the local host. The fourth step, I'm gonna execute this offline, which is locally. And the fifth step is going to be to stop the runner, just to make sure I clean up my resources. So let's start by doing this. I'm gonna open my terminal back again. I'm gonna copy the script. This only contains the information that I need just as variable. So this is just basic shell scripting. So do not worry about these things. All you need to know here is I'm gonna try to pull the image from the GitHub container registry. All right, let's start by doing this. So I copy my script, paste it here, save, and then now let's download this. Let me download it. So this is gonna pull the image from the Docker registry. Let's wait for it for a second. All right, it's available, it's ready now. So the second step, as I explained earlier, I'm going to run the container. So what's really happening when I run this container, it's going to have a set of configurations. This configuration will be how to connect to the SaaS. There is a different way of doing this if you want this to be fully offline, but for this demo, I'm just showing you the capability of fetching the WASM directly, the SaaS. And as you probably know, we have multiple ways of authenticating. The first one is synthetic key. We could also use OAuth 2 client credentials. All right, let's continue. I'm gonna copy this and paste it here. Let me clear my terminal so you have more space you can see. And you could see now I have a container running. Okay, third step here is if the service is running, my hybrid runner, I should be able to quickly check it out. So let's run a health check. Okay, I get the okay message, which means it's okay. Now let's go back to what we talked about earlier, right? We said here in this piece that this is important. So this is how the hybrid runner knows how to fetch this WASM technology. So it's going to fetch the WASM knowing the version ID, and it's going to bring the WASM down. When the WASM is down, then it will just execute it locally. And you could see those are the exact same parameters that I'm using here. For example, let's take a look. If I run this, this is just a curl command. Okay, let me copy this. Let me paste this here. All right, pasting this here, and let me try to execute it. Let me make this bigger. So this is what just happened, right? It first tried to download the WASM, and then once it gets the WASM, it executes it. So if I try to run this again, you see it took a little bit of time earlier, but if I try to execute this again, it should be faster because it's now locally. So in terms of performance, it's way faster. Okay, let me actually run this one more time so you can see. Perfect. Now let's check the API call history. So if I check the API call history here, there is no call made to this SaaS. Absolutely not, because everything is happening offline. So this is the purpose of the demo today, is to show you that when you use hybrid deployment, this operation happens offline, not in the SaaS. All right, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if thanks for watching.